Hello YouTube. Today I wanted to make a video on how to drive a stick shift. Um, this is not going to be a very detailed video, but I just wanted to go over the basics on how to drive a stick shift. What do you need to know in order to successfully be able to drive a stick shift? So this is pretty much for people who want to know the basic concepts of driving a stick shift, and then you can go, ask a friend or someone in your family who has a stick shift car, and then you can put it in practice and actually learn it. So there are a few main things that you need to get familiar with um, in a car with a stick shift transmission. First of all, it's your gear knob. Um, this is the knob that allows you to switch gears, and each knob is going to have the um, pattern drawn on the knob, and it's going to tell you how many gears the car has and which way do they go. For example, here we have a 5-speed manual transmission, which is pretty common from vehicles from the 1980s to the mid 2000s, where when 5-speed manuals were quite popular. So as you can see, we start with the first gear, top left, and then you work your way up to fifth gear, which is all the way up and to the right. So that's pretty common for 5-speed manuals. Then you have 6-speed manuals, you have 4 speeds. It just varies depending on the car, on the make, model, whatnot. Um, but yeah, so you need to get familiar with your gear knob. Then another important thing, which is not as important in an automatic car, even though they still have it, but it's your tachometer, which is gonna tell you how fast the engine is going. Um, so, for example, you want to keep your car in a, depending on whether you want performance or you're just driving, just everyday driving. Um, you want to get familiar on when you need to shift gears. So, for example, in my car, I usually shift when I'm between 2500 and 3000 RPMs. RPMs being revolutions per minute, which is the speed of the engine, if you didn't know that. But yeah, so you need to get familiar with that. Another very important thing is your 3 pedals on the floor. Um, it's kind of hard to see, but you have in a manual transmission, you have a gas pedal all the way to the right, then you have a brake pedal in the middle, and then you have a clutch pedal in the left. So just like a regular automatic car, the gas pedal, accelerates. Then you have your brake pedal to stop the car, and then you have the clutch pedal, which is the new one. Now, what the clutch pedal does is it it disengages or engages a clutch disc that is between the engine and the transmission. So when the clutch pedal is all the way up, the clutch is engaged, which means the engine and the transmission are working together to get the car moving. When you put your foot on the clutch pedal, as I just did, that disengages the clutch disc, and the engine and the transmission are separated. What that allows you to do is to shift gears, because if the clutch is engaged, then um, you cannot shift gears because you're gonna be trying to get the transmission and the engine to get work together when working at different speeds. So they're not gonna like that. So um, clutch, always press it to shift gears. So another important thing is when you start a manual transmission car, you always want to make sure you have your foot on the clutch. That way the engine and the transmission are separated and the car doesn't stall. And also make sure the gear knob is in neutral, which means being on the center, which allows the gear knob to move freely. And that way you can ensure that you're not going to move forward when you start the car, as it has happened to me before. Um, but let me show you guys. So clutch, my foot is all the way down on the clutch, transmission is in neutral, and then you can go ahead and start the car. There it is. Usually, a lot of newer cars have a safety system in which the car doesn't allow you to start it unless you have the clutch pedal pressed. So that's a nice safety feature for people who are new to driving stick shift. Um, so what is the toughest part about driving a stick shift? Because everything that I've said is pretty easy knowledge. You can learn it easily. But the hardest part comes when you're learning to take off, when you're actually wanting to drive. And the hardest part is um, how to start in first gear. Well, there's kind of an art behind it. Um, you have to work uh, your right foot and your left foot together um, um, with the gas pedal and the clutch pedal, kind of balance it out and find the sweet spot in each car that allows the car to start smoothly. Um, so what you want to do is you're gonna you're gonna have your um, clutch pedal all the way in, and then slowly begin to let go of it. And as you let go of it, just slowly give it a little bit of gas, not too much, not too little, just the right amount of gas. So it's gonna be, the car is gonna try to keep the revs between 1500 and 2000 RPMs, and that should be good enough to get you started. Um, so let me go ahead and show you guys kind of how that works. Um, I'm kind of filming by myself, so it's kind of hard to show you guys, but I will try to do my best. So you put your foot in the clutch and then put the car in first gear, so all the way to the left and up, and that is first gear. So I'm gonna slowly, ever so slowly, begin to let go of the clutch. And as you let go of the clutch, just give it a little bit of gas.